and just for keeping the coming back to a new Marilyn Murphy's Law review. And if you all this last one, go and check it out. And we are back with the next episode of Season 1 of Milo Murphy's Law. And this is the last episode of Season 1 as well. Yep, we have made it to the last episode of the first season. And it is a Christmas episode. I always love when cartoons and TV shows have Christmas episodes. Definitely one of my favorite kind of trends of the episodes on cartoons and TV shows. Because again, Christmas is one of my all-time favorite holidays. So, that's another reason. So yeah, it starts with Milo, Sarah, Zach, and Melissa in the car. And they're wondering of these different musics that they're going to... And thinking that they're going to get music from the airport. But no, going to get the rest of the Milo family. Yeah, like Milo's and Sarah's aunts and uncles and grandpa and grandma and cousin that they are going to be getting. Like, yeah, we see a photograph as well, and yeah, really good to actually see some other Milo or some other Murphys. Because all we really seen is, Milo and his sister and his mom and dad as the only Murphys. And who knows if they're going to be as chaotic as Milo and his dad can be, with different, that have Murphy's Law. Who knows exactly. And yeah, we see their mom and dad driving and remembering the time that the mom celebrated Christmas with the dad's family. And yeah, getting a call, being careful from their parents, and talking about a snowstorm as well. And then we cut to 2195 in the future, and we see Dakota is actually making a hit and having I'm going to the dentist instead of we're going to the zoo, and then I'm going to the mall. And we see an old version of Cavendish. And yeah, he wondered how it all went wrong. And saying old Dakota giving autographs. And we see a flashback to 2175 of a Christmas party that everybody are going to. And yeah, then they end up arguing after eating the last egg roll. Yeah, that Dakota ate it, and he's like, I called dibs right after he ate it. And yeah, an argument broke out. And that's exactly how it ended up. A timeline where they ended up not being partners anymore. And yeah, this robot having this sign, which was pretty funny. And yeah, seeing this old man with unfinished business waiting area. And then he remembers, wait a second, I'm a time traveler. I can go back in time to fix this from not happening. And yeah, telling these old people that they can't come either. But then he's taking them with him just to drop them off. And yeah, we see the old version Dakota just doing autographs still and being questioned about what happened with him and Cavendish. And then he remembers that he's a time traveler. He can go back to the time before they broke up of not being partners. So then we cut to the present day with them at the airport and see their cousin. Milo's cousin, and yeah, his leverage isn't there, which then they see it on this truck, which then they're having to chase after it, and they end up in this plane, which then they're having to ride it, which then they go take their seats, and they see the leverage which ends up flying falling from the sky and ending up in the water, and then it gets eaten by a shark as well. And then, yeah, they come down with a parachute. And then we cut to Christmas 2175, and yeah, they're both going back in time to try to stop themselves from arguing, Cavendish and Dakota, and yeah, putting on a disguise, and saying their younger selves, and if they don't find a buffet, the argument doesn't happen. And he's like, if they don't find the buffet, the argument doesn't happen. And yeah, he just turns the sign back to where it was, and they go back, and yeah, he sees Dakota, and then we cut to the present day, and say there are his grandma and grandpa, and they end up stuck in the subway, and yeah, of course he's wondering what he is doing, what they are doing there, and yeah, they end up missing the whole stopping the argument. And then we cut to the present day again, and yeah, after they get off of the subway, because apparently everybody else except for the cousin has Murphy's Law. And yeah, we see Milo's aunt and uncle, which they end up almost causing a Titanic. And Milo comes in this boat to save them, and yeah, the cousin ending up in the water but getting back on the dock. And then yeah, again, just this whole charade, going back, traveling back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back in time. Dakota and Cavendish, just trying to stop them from arguing in the first place. And once again, he's like, Merry Christmas, where's the buffet? Send me to the buffet. And then, yeah, the old Cavendish, once again, trying to stop his utter self from stopping. Again, it gets very confusing. It gets very confusing here. And Cavendish is trying to do the same thing, or Dakota is trying to do the same thing, and what is he even having? And yeah, he sees their boss, an old version of them, or not old version, he sees their boss, and yeah, brought a T-Rex, brought a dinosaur, and destroys the buffet, and he's like, ooh, and then just eats it, and yeah, starts the argument again, and getting chased with a dinosaur. And then we cut to the present day, and Milo wasn't so sure this was a good idea, because having a whole Murphy's, right, whole van filled with Murphy's, Murphy's Law, and yeah, they end up getting trapped in the snow, and once again, time traveling. And we're just seeing so many Dakotas and Cavendish now. And dressing up as an egg roll as well to try to scare them. And they're turning around and getting attacked by a dinosaur. And yeah, a giant dinosaur comes. And again, the argument breaks once again. And yeah, we see this, like, ambulances, I'm guessing, and police coming. And they're wondering what went wrong and why. And then they confess to each other that they were just trying to stop their past selves from ruining their friendship. And then they decide to work together. And then they time travel back and putting on disguises and in these robot costumes. And yeah, they end up in an argument again. They try it again. Same thing doesn't work. Do it again. Same thing doesn't work. And then in a ship, and it doesn't work either. Like, man, yeah, they're just causing so many problems here. And then they find a way that they can get out of this mess, and they go to get a ride. Yeah, they manage to go and get a ride, which again, with a lot of Murphys, a whole lot of Murphy's Law, and end up in a tree, which then they see these buildings, which then they go to see if any of them would let them in. And yeah, the whole argument starts again, and then they showing each other their past selves, future selves and their past selves, and their bosses saying this, and saying his old self as well. And they actually confess of did this, and yeah, saying all these different Dakotas, and they all just start disappearing after their arguments stop, when they make it up. And yeah, we see this water-like tornado, ice tornado, coming towards this boat. And yeah, this security guard is telling them that they can't go outside with this weather. And yeah, Milo and Sarah and all the family come, and yeah, this boat ends up crashing inside the mall. And yeah, the leverage, which is not his leverage, that got eaten. And yeah, they have Christmas Eve dinner, and yep, Zach's mom and dad comes, and Melissa's dad comes, and yep, Cavendish and Dakota wishing Merry Christmas to each other. And then we cut back to the future where we see them signing autographs and saying Merry Christmas to each other. A really good episode, Christmas episode, and a good way to end the first season of the 2 of Milo Murphy's Law. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Catch you next one.